Across the earth lie the remnants of a once thriving spiritual culture. Thousands upon thousands of sacred sites, in all kinds of shapes and forms. Standing stones, dolmens, tumuli, stone circles, even the odd mound or two. A large portion still survive in a crescent area across Western Europe and the British Isles. These monuments were moulded to the surrounding landscape with great sensitivity and painstakingly constructed so that future generations could access a vault of knowledge that lies beyond the limits of the physical world. Although modern historians paint their architects as primitive, few can explain how such primitives were able to erect colossal monuments whose construct modern technology cannot match. And yet, without modern technology, these people cut, dressed, and ferried rocks weighing up to 200 tons across relatively vast distances and challenging terrains. Why did they go to so much trouble? When we dissect the work of the temple builders, we begin to see how their structures are a kind of universal reference library. They encode the mathematics of planetary movements, the dimensions of the Earth, strategic angles for manipulating energy, even sacred geometry. Some temples enhance the effects of sound. Others encode their own latitudinal and longitudinal grid coordinates. Surely, if these were erected to simply honor the gods, as Orthodox history tells us, then why was such information and precision necessary? And why did they choose to encode such knowledge using some of the hardest rocks on Earth? Did they wish to immortalize their genius? Or was there another purpose? What is certain is that many of these so-called pagan temples were so important that they were assimilated by an emerging Roman Catholic Church. One reason lies in the roots of the word church, whose Greek origin, kirkos, means both circle and the house of the Lord. So clearly these places were regarded as oracles, places on Earth where the connection with other levels of consciousness appear to be more immediate. When we look into the invisible knowledge encoded into sacred sites and the buildings that succeeded them, we discover a subtle science at work, a mechanism that enabled our ancestors to work with subtle energies that permeate the world around us. By looking at the roots of this enigma, we not only gain a new insight into the motivation of the temple builders, we also begin to understand why, for the past 400 years, new circular temples have manifested beside these sacred spaces, the crop circles. These mysterious signatures have attracted hundreds of thousands of pilgrims who travel from near and far to honor their perception of spirit. And just like our ancestors thousands of years ago, they too feel motivated to connect with the invisible universe. Is it possible a relationship exists between all these temples? Are we being reminded of a lost connection with our past that needs to be rekindled? Our journey begins 1600 years ago in southern Europe, as a new force steps into the vacuum of power created by the imploding Roman Empire. The Roman Catholic Church. By 640 AD, this new religion is waging war with Muslims in a bid to assert spiritual control over the peoples of Europe. Its suppression machine is then unleashed on pagans, Celts and Christians, whose beliefs and traditions the Church had previously adopted for its own. The orders sent from Rome to bishops throughout Europe are explicit. Let no Christian place lights at the temples or stone enclosures. Let no one presume to make lustrations, or to enchant herbs, or to make flocks pass through a hollow of a tree or an aperture of the earth. For by so doing, so he seems to consecrate them to the devil. The work of the devil meaning any knowledge pursued outside the strict confines of orthodox belief. Obviously the pagans did not share the Roman Catholic syndicate's view that use of sacred space in any way connected them with the forces of hell, because 300 years later, the clergy was still forbidding pagan worship at sacred sites. The resistance is understandable. Sick people were healed when passed through specially carved granite rocks. Holy wells cured eye deficiencies and other ailments. And fertility was enhanced inside stone circles. For thousands of years, people had benefited from attending sites of veneration. Yet despite such benefits, by the 11th century, worship at sacred sites was made illegal. The penalties for non-compliance were severe. Women who visited standing stones to induce fertility were made to fast for 3 years. Yet despite the slim odds of survival, the orders from Rome met with continued resistance. So the Church adopted a complete change of strategy. It assimilated the pagan sites. Celtic and pagan gods were either discredited or Christianized.